Welcome back to Living Local. We talk all the time about preparing for the future, and that is really important right now as many of us are in the midst of tax season. That's today's topic on the Retirement Blueprint with Kevin and Lauren Geiger from Geiger Investments, a low country area firm that focuses on preparing couples for a successful retirement. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so let's start with this. What is the difference between a tax preparer and a tax planner?
So it is technically, in a professional perspective, two different services. So a tax preparer is the individual that you sit down with. They file all the necessary documents that you need for your state and federal, and that's kind of where they lie. They tell you how much money you need to pay. A tax planner is an individual that actually sits down and looks at any tax consequences that you may have arise in the future. So it's basically they're optimizing and ensuring that you are going to minimize tax risk before it gets to that point.
Is that a CPA or is that
Well, it really depends necessarily. It depends on where their expertise lies. So as a financial advisor, we are part tax planners because we can go ahead and look at some aspects, but then we always recommend that you consult an actual accountant to ensure.
Okay, so how big of an impact do taxes have as far as retirement?
Well, taxes are, if not one of the most important things to be considering when you're looking and building your retirement plan, because let's face it, taxes can make or break your retirement. If you're not factoring in having to pay 20 or 30% into that money you're pulling out in taxes, it might change everything. You know, the dynamic of your retirement and traveling might be cut, by a third just by not factoring that into it.
Okay, this sounds kind of depressing, but how often do you see where people aren't planning for taxes and it does impact their retirement?
Well, it's thinking of a story of ours. We had a client, or actually a client of ours now, that wasn't a client of ours at the time. And the person she was working with at the time was telling her, okay, she wanted to take a big withdrawal out because she was doing an addition on her house. And he was just going to have her pull all out of her IRA. Well, what he didn't explain to her was this is going to be a huge taxable event. So unfortunately, a friend of hers was a client of ours and said, why don't you sit down with Kevin and Lauren, just get an evaluation on this. And we sat down and says, no, that's not the right approach because all that money is going to be taxed. You're going to be pushing a newer tax bracket. By taking it from these different areas of other investment assets you have, we minimize the tax liability to do that, which again is money back in your pocket.
Well, and you think it's my money, I should be able to take it out whenever I want to, right?
Right. Unfortunately, not the case.
All right, so in what ways can people reduce their taxes through saving?
Well, if you're saving right now and you have a 401k, for example, at work, a lot of these companies now offer Roth 401k options. So you can put money into these accounts. So down the road, when you start drawing on these, retirement assets, it's all tax-free. Because let's face it, with the government, with this deficit growing every day, there's a good likability that at some point they're going to have to increase the taxes we're paying into this. So if you're going into retirement 15, 20 years from now, there's a chance it could be 30, 40, 50% tax brackets. So by doing these Roth IRAs, Roth 401k options is going to basically help eliminate that tax burden.
Do you have a certain amount you can each year put into those accounts?
Yep, there's limits that each one, and they change those every year. 401ks, you can put a lot more into than an IRA, for example. But what people don't realize is if you have a spouse at home that isn't working, you can actually contribute to a Roth IRA or even a traditional IRA on her behalf. She does not have to be working. So that's a caveat that people don't realize that can help you put more money away for retirement.
That is a good little piece of information right there.
Right.
All right, and for the folks at home, if you want to make sure you're not putting your retirement at risk, give Kevin and Lauren a call, and they will sit down with you personally and provide you with a complete evaluation regarding your current investment portfolio. So pick up the phone, dial 843-375-8700, or you can go online to their website at geigerinvestments.com.